We'll just be natural and just be like, say, hey, like, what do you do? Are you a stranger? No, I'm just kidding. So, you tell me you're ready. All right, well, we're just about to get out of here, and of course, we run into this guy, the icon, Charlie Pauken of
Excalibur.
I don't even know where you want to start.
Yeah, I've been all over the place.
He's been all over the place. So he, of course, was known for Excalibur back in the day, and he was going to hang it all up, and you get a call.
Actually, I got a call from Mike Wales.
From Mike Wales, okay.
Mike Wales actually called me up and propositioned me, and I basically it's kind of crazy that the proposition I got to actually go drive a digger truck.
Right. And Excalibur, I mean, that was the iconic truck. You drove that for how many years?
I did. I drove Excalibur truck for 11 years.
11 years.
11 years. It was kind of a crazy deal back in the day. I actually had a paper out. I'd ride by this house that these two guys in their backyard, back little one-car garage, were building this truck, and they would wheel the framework out and work on the stuff, and they had their bike. So I'd stop by. I got to check this out. I'm riding my bike.
You got to know what's going on here.
Get my paper out done. It's like, this is cool. It's like, and then I'd go over to work at my brother's welding shop.
Okay.
And the guys would come over and get stuff done or help. It's like, so I kept checking on them, and they finally got it up and running. And they were doing shows, whatnot. And one show, they were just like, hey, they both had regular jobs, so they're weekend warriors. They've got full-time jobs.
They're full-time job and playing the garage on the weekend.
And trying to go do these shows and need help all the time. So hey, you want to go with me? It's like, yeah, I'll go with you.
And how old were you about that time?
I was 19.
19, so that was what, early 80s?
Yeah.
that was back in the day.
Yeah. And so one thing led to another. It's like they kept needing help and whatnot. And actually, Mike Nickel was the one that took the Excalibur truck, the very first truck, and tried to float it. It's a very famous video out. If you really Google it, it's like, and he capsized the truck in the water in Salisbury.
I remember that.
And
that was kind of like your signature move. As soon as you guys built these trucks back when I was a kid, the very iconic thing, you'd always see you guys in the water on some lake somewhere.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, he did it, I want to do it. And then you'd see the boxes go up, you'd see all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But if you did the wrong move, obviously you'd flip over.
You'd capsize.
And you were one of the first ones to flip over.
So Mike Nickel was the one that actually capsized it.
Okay.
And I heard they had it out at the quarry and whatnot, and they rolled it over and it capsized. I was like, oh, man. So it's like, so I shoot out there to see what's going on.
Yeah.
They drag it up the beach and flip it over and stuff. And actually, Mike Nickel came over and he goes, Chuck, you need to come help us. So actually, I can actually blame Mike Nickel,
for what happened to you in the last, well, you said 30-something years you did it for.
34 years, right.
34 years.
Yeah.
So you had, what do you say, 11 with Excalibur, right?
11 with Excalibur.
And then you'd go with Digger.
And I went to Digger.
So a lot of you don't know this, but if you go back to Digger back in the day, the famous thing that you would always know about this guy is when you won, or when you kind of said, I can do it better than them, was your famous dance, I remember as a kid.
That's right, Chucky dance. The
Chucky dance. So what's it?
Yeah!
On top of the roof of the truck
exactly.
every time.
You had to get on top of the roof. You had to get out.
You had to just show everybody, like, I'm here, I'm not afraid of it. Because most drivers wouldn't even, they would just kind of do like the parade wave. You would let the truck roll. You would let the truck roll while you're driving. That was before all the fancy equipment on it.
Yeah.
You would just let the truck roll and idle. There was no safety equipment to shut it off. There was no safety team. You would just get on there, get on the roof, and somehow get back in the truck. I mean, you guys started all. I mean, you're the icons that started all
We
this.
did a lot of this stuff. Actually, and one of my other signature moves was my very first with the Excalibur truck was actually taking the steering wheel off, hanging it out the window, and take off from a dead stop while you're holding the steering wheel out the window and doing cycle donuts with the steering wheel out the window. So that was my move.
That was your move.
Thunder Nationals, Aaron Polburn, the promoter, was like, he flipped out when he saw me.
When he saw you, the promoter.
What are you doing? Yeah, it's like.
I can understand that nowadays if somebody's at one of my shows doing it. I know how it is. I yell in my pits and everything else. Like, you can't do that here, you can't do that. So I don't know what I would have done being a promoter back in the day with you guys in the 80s.
And it was some of the fun times. Mike Vaughters with Black Stallion, him and I would battle it out back and forth.
You guys were always hand in hand. It was so great to watch.
So fun. And the one show we were trying to outdo each other. Of course, it's in a hockey arena. It's like we're backing right up to the hockey walls and just letting it eat and getting big air in these places and playing it. And Aaron Polburn pulls us back after the show. You guys, come here. We're gonna have a talk. And he goes, "That was a great show. Great show. I loved it. don't ever do that again.
You were one of the famous ones that after you would get done doing your run, they would call you up and green light would go on. You'd fire up Excalibur. You were one of the famous ones that would start. That you would go through as soon as you're done. You'd go through the bypass of the trucks in the pit, and you'd always hit the other guy's tire.
You always bump them.
You'd always bump them.
Hey.
You started that,
How's that?
and you'd be like, "How is that?" And the guy with the new truck, the new team, would look at his truck and be like, "That guy just hit my truck," you know. And you're like, "No." You'd be like, "All right." And then as you guys get used to it, back in the day, you guys would like literally hit each other's trucks, like move them. Like, and then as soon as there'd always be a driver, and then all of a sudden it got to be an iconic movie. You'd hit each other, and then all of a sudden that truck would fire up instantly. And it was, so you set the precedence for what's going on. And like I said, the kids these days that are watching the Monster Jams and everything else like that, they have no idea, but you're the icons that started all this. That's how it all started. It was just a dream that a kid had walking by somebody's garage. And it goes back to the famous thing, most things start in a garage somewhere.
Exactly.
On a weekend.
I mean, I compare it to being that kid in a sandbox. I was that kid out in the sandbox. It was always cool to build something, but it's always cool to smash it down, you know, and
build it back up again.
And build it back, yeah. So, and totally relate. It's like, to me, it's like the 5-year-old. The 5-year-old is our biggest fan, and to put a smile on their face is priceless to me. That's always been my line, and it's always what I've looked to. It's like, that's why if you ever see me and do an autograph with any of the kids, it's like I get down to their level.
Yes.
I get down to their level because that's where you make the connection.
That's where the next generation is coming. That's your fan. And that's what we try to do. And that's why I wanted to interview for not our thing, for Motor Mania, what we do in our network, but we're going on that stuff. And there it is. There's the iconic fire up. We had to stop and see what it was. So it's firing up already. What I want to talk to you about is the reason why we interviewed in front of Barefoot. All right. We have to talk about, I asked you what truck to get interviewed by. And you said hands down Barefoot in this truck. Explain to the fans why you want to do this and for who.
Well, definitely Scott Hess.
Yes, of course.
Come out here for what he's done for the International Monster Truck Hall of Fame. How much effort he's put into this to reproduce this, you know. And
for the ones that don't know, explain the reason why what this truck was back in the day, because a lot of them don't know.
Scott Hess came back on in the Thunder Nationals, and for me to compete against him, I was like, who is this guy? Big horsepower. This thing would light the tires up on the asphalt and just smoke them all the way to the cars. And I'm standing back going, are you kidding me? What? I could actually plant my truck with the Firestones. I could plant my truck and my tire tracks would get wider. They would get wider and hook up. His truck was actually, the tires would actually spin up like a dragster tire.
Yeah.
Oh, I could beat him to the car.
Yeah.
But after that, he had so much wheel speed, he hit the cars and this thing would just slingshot him past me. I'm like, are you kidding me? No!
Yeah, this truck was insane when it came out.
It was crazy back in the day for what it was. Insane. So I mean, he made such an impact on the Thunder National Series, all the way across the board, in the stadiums, whatnot, and to come out here and do what he does, you know, and be a part of this.
Well, to bring it all back alive from what everybody doesn't know from the originality of where you guys started from, and now to see this one restored and everything like that, it's amazing to see it. I mean, to be sitting alongside this thing, and you know, they even do the interview with you, and I mean, and he's here also. It's amazing.
It's all part of the history, and it's like I've got goosebumps about it. You know, this is cool, and this is what it's all about: is reconnecting with everybody, the history of it, and the kids. You know, the memories.
Yep.
The motors.
The motors, right there.
The sound. Exactly.
Well, I won't keep any longer. Thank you a lot. I mean,
just pleasure.
One of my icons.
Love it.
Thanks everybody, and we'll see what happens next year.
All right.
We're not out of here yet. So, all right.
See you soon.
All right.